Good morning, I'm Hannah, and this is day 13 of our 21 days of prayer and fasting. This morning, I get to share with you about the act of surrendering your will as an act of worship. So yesterday, we talked about worshiping God through trusting God, and the two really work together because when we trust God fully, we surrender our own will automatically. We don't cling onto our control, but we freely give God the authority in our lives. So David writes in Psalm 96, 1-3, "Sing to the Lord a new song, sing to the Lord all the earth. Sing to the Lord and praise his name. Proclaim his salvation day after day. Declare his glory among the nations, his marvelous deeds among all peoples." So we often think about worship as singing praises to God, which definitely is one of the ways that we worship, as we talked about earlier this week, but we're called to worship in other ways as well. We're to proclaim our salvation and declare God's glory. Paul helps guide us more in Romans 12, 1-2, when he says, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." So in this world, it's really easy to want control because we know that there's not actually a whole lot we can control. So we take hold of what we can and we cling to it with white knuckles because it makes us feel like we have some sort of power. And I'm the most guilty of this, as my husband can tell you, but I've noticed in my own life that my greatest joy comes in the times when I release what little control I have and offer my life and my plans to God and subscribe to his will instead. And our culture is very selfishly centered, not even in the way that we don't think about other people and only ourselves, but more so in the way that we feel like we are in control alone of our own destiny. And if we want something, you're the only one who can make it happen. If things aren't going your way, you have to pick yourself up and fix it. And all around us, people are telling us you can achieve what you want if only you try this, cut this out of your life, act this way, commit this much time, and so on. But God does speak about how that can be of value in working hard and taking responsibility. But we have to know that we have limits and that we are not God. We're not made to do it all on our own. We can't control everything that happens, and we'd probably disappoint ourselves even if we could. So that's why Paul reminds us to offer our bodies as a living sacrifice. Don't conform to the patterns of this world. We're transformed when we realize that we can't achieve everything on our own. Only when we lay down our pride and allow God to take over will we be witness to his pleasing and perfect will. God deserves our praise and he deserves our trust, but both of those things ultimately lead us to surrendering the control and wishes of our own hearts and submitting to God's perfect will for each of our lives, which is the ultimate act of worship. Hey North, thanks so much for joining us today. We can't wait to see you tomorrow.